Tonight we're going to read from Srimad Bhagavad-gita As It Is, chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Okay, right, I'm going to read the last verse. Purport by His Divine Grace. The Lord clearly explained here that this is the substance of all revealed scriptures, and one should understand this as it is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, one will become intelligent and perfect in transcendental knowledge. In other words, by understanding this philosophy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engaging in His transcendental service, everyone can become freed from all contaminations of the modes of material nature. Devotional service is a process of spiritual understanding. Wherever devotional service exists, the material contamination cannot coexist. Devotional service to the Lord and the Lord Himself are one and the same because they are spiritual. Devotional service takes place within the internal energy of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is said to be the sun, and ignorance is called darkness. Where the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Therefore, whenever devotional service is present under the proper guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, there is no question of ignorance. Everyone must take to this consciousness of Krishna and engage in devotional service to become intelligent and purified. Unless one comes to this position of understanding Krishna and engages in devotional service, however intelligent he may be in the estimation of some common man, is not perfectly intelligent. The word anaga, by which Arjuna is addressed, is significant. Anaga, or sinless one, means that unless one is free from all sinful reactions, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. One is to become free from all contamination, all sinful activities, then he can understand. But devotional service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in devotional service, he automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness. While one is performing devotional service in the association of pure devotees in full Krishna consciousness, there are certain things which are required to be vanquished altogether. The most important thing one is to when it surmount is weakness of the heart. The first fall down is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. Thus one gives up the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. The second weakness of the heart is that as one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature, he becomes attached to matter and possession of matter. The problems of material existence are due to these weaknesses of the heart. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing oneself from these weaknesses of heart. And the rest of the chapter, from the 6th verse through end, discusses Purushottam Yoga. That's end of Bhagavad-gita purport of the 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad-gita in the matter of Purushottam Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Nana Shastra Vicharani Kanikun Sadhama Samstapa Kuruki Navitakani Tribhuvane Manu Sharana Karu Radha Krishna Padaravinda Vajana Nandina Mataliku Bande Rupa Sanatan Ravi Sijiva Vande Nantak Bhutam Ishwaram Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Sapicha Yat Prashadam Syat Bhakti Shastra Pravartakaha. So the some substance of this chapter, how to know Krishna. So he's speaking about the yoga of the Supreme. And we all know the meaning of yoga. What does it mean? What's the meaning of yoga? Anybody knows?
To link and connect.
Perfect answer, yeah. Linking process. Linking process, that's yoga. So, yeah, this yoga word is very significant. Since it is said there are two classes of persons, beings. Some are fallible and infallible. Those are not linked to the Supreme Lord, they are fallible. And that's very common in material world. In material world, we are all disconnected to the Supreme Lord. That's why we're here. Maya Mugdaji Nahi Krishna Smriti Gyan. It is in Chaitanya Bhagavad. Maya Mugdha Jiver Nahi Smriti Gyan. Because of being enchanted by illusory energy of the Lord in this material world, we have forgotten Krishna altogether. Nahi Krishna Smritir Gyan. Nahi means no. Smritir, no remembrance or thought of Krishna, no knowledge of Krishna. Smritir Gyan. And then the next line says, Jivere Kripaya Kela Krishna Veda Puran. We have forgotten the Supreme Lord. We become separated from Him, disconnected from Him. But He always very dear to us, and we're very dear to Him. He always thinks of us. Always. And He's always trying to divide means how we can go back to Him again, how we can be connected with Him again. That's why He's given yoga. That's meaning yoga. Because the fallible living entities, living beings in this material world, they need a yoga process to be again reconnected with the Supreme Person of Godhead. So Krishna is giving yoga, and he's Yogeshwara. In other words, yoga means bhakti yoga. There's so many types of yoga people are practicing, but the verse we just read before, Yoginam api sarvisham margatirantaratma shadavan bhajanti yoma satatamo mataha. It was read in the verse. Krishna gives opinion that of all the yogis, one who is abide by me with faith and devotion, render service unto me, always remember me, is the best of all yogis in his opinion. Right? So amazing that verse is connected with this what we're talking. So the yoga means bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga. And what is bhakti yoga? Especially in this Kali Yuga, when Krishna came 5,000 years ago, he manifests this lila pastimes of Kurukshetra that we all know. what happened there, who was there. We know all the scenario of Battle of Kurukshetra. And then he gave these instructions, his teaching of Bhagavad-gita. See, the whole thing was arranged so the Supreme Lord could give this king of knowledge, and like Krishna himself, he said, Raja Vidya. Just like what verse I quoted before, Maya Mugdaj Venai, Krishna Smritir Gyan. Because the fallible condition living entity is this material world, they completely disconnected with Krishna, and Maya is so powerful. Maya means ignorance. And somewhere Prabhupada says in the Prabhupada, Krishna Surya Sama Maya or Andhakar. Krishna is like a fulgent, brilliant, effulgent sun. Maya is a shadow. So where there is a fulgent sun, there cannot be darkness. Just now, because the sun is still there in the sky, we can see the sunlight. But when the sun sets, that dead of night, it's complete darkness. That means the sun is not there. So you can put them all together. So therefore, Maya Mugda Jiva, the word Mugda is very significant because Mugda means the living entities in this material world, they've been captured. They've been infatuated. They've been allured by illusory energy. And this allurement, this enchanting, they are enchanted. This is the proper word of this Mugda. They've been enchanted by Maya. Being enchanted by Maya is a very, very, very serious condition. It's very difficult to come out of this, attachment for Maya. Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, Devi Shaguna Mai, Mama Maya Duratiyaya. Mame Vayi Prapadyante Maya Mitamatanantite. That is material energy, divine. It's Maya. Krishna claims it's energy. Said it's insurmountable. It's very difficult to overcome. But only those who take shelter, those who are intelligent, the Buddha, Buddhiman. Je Bhaje Krishna, Se Jana Bhaje Krishna, Seboru Chatu. Tiseni Shastra, Vaishnava language. Je Jana Bhaje Krishna, Seboru Chatu. One who engages himself in worshipping Krishna, rendering devotional service unto Krishna, is Buddhiman, meaning he's intelligent. He's the most intelligent person. On the other hand, Prabhupada says somewhere in the pulpit, according to the estimation of a common man, somebody may be highly intelligent, educated, whatever qualification is achieved, many PhD, this and that. If he's not engaged in devotional service to Krishna, he's actually a fool. So intelligence is spiritual intelligence given by Krishna. Tesham statata yuktanam bhajata pritipurvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayamutite. Krishna said it clearly. How can you get into this spiritual intelligence? When we devote ourselves, we dedicate ourselves in rendering loving service unto Krishna. We may be still, because we're fallible, I'm talking about the fallible beings. So when we take the instruction of Krishna, like that verse I said, Maya Mugda Jivanai Krishna Smritir Gyan, because we have forgotten Krishna, but Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, Jivera Kripale Kaila, Krishna Veda Puran. He has given Veda and Puranas. So if we are fortunate, we take to those instructions of Supreme Lord, diligently, seriously, and with sincerity. And at that moment, when we begin rendering service to Krishna. Krishna is so pleased. Gradually, Krishna gives you intelligence in the form of realizations. You start realizing things. Oh, wow. I didn't know it before. Now I understand. And everybody has that experience. So that how Krishna gives intelligence in form of realizations. So he said, Tisham Satata Yuktam. Those who are really with love and devotion, at least they're sincere. They want to know me and they accept the injunction of scriptures. Prabhupada said, under the expert guidance, the bona fide spiritual master, or sadhus. You might not be initiated, but if you associate with right devotees, we didn't get initiated the first day when we came. Some they spend many years. But at that period, prior to initiation, we also have realizations. That's what kept us in association with devotees. And later on, we decided to surrender and to take shelter of the bona fide spiritual master. So Krishna said in Bhagavad-gita, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam tateva bhajamyaham. As you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. So whatever we do for Krishna, Krishna always reciprocates. So when Krishna sees that we accept this, we've forgotten Krishna, but he has given us this Rajavidya, king of knowledge, of education. If we accept it with full faith and dedication, so Krishna will give us so many realization, knowledge. But academically, you can never achieve such knowledge. So only Krishna gives. He said, Dadami Buddhi. Nobody else will give that knowledge, only Krishna. You may have a highly qualified, teacher in this world, professor, university, whatever. He cannot give this knowledge to you. It's confidential. It is to be revealed to you. And that is revealed in the form of realization. Simple thing that you didn't understand before, but when you get Krishna's mercy, you get it. There's one short story. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, the revered spiritual master of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. He used to, every evening, he used to be surrounded by his followers, disciples, giving Krishna Katha, sitting outside, speaking about Krishna. There's one gentleman who used to come from outside. He was not from ashram. He just used to come. He liked coming, associating with devotees. And then he used to ask us so many questions every day. So many questions, Maharaj. And then one time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta noticed that, this gentleman has so many questions. Some of the questions, they're not silly, but they're very simple, but he cannot get the answer. Why? Because he understood as an expert transcendentalist that this person is speculating because he's not engaged in devotional service. Speculation doesn't mean just material speculation, even in spiritual, like the Gyanis, they have a knowledge, but they're speculators because what's the purpose of having knowledge if you don't engage yourself in devotional service? Now, Prabhupada used to say that we're just reading literature, preaching over, just to bring people to the part of chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So I was going before when I started to give the definition of Bhakti Yoga. So just coming out. So Bhakti Yoga means devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Vyasadeva, Krishna himself, who gave this Vedic knowledge, Prabhupada mentioned about him, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, Krishna himself, in the form of a devotee, Lord Chaitanya, all the associates of Lord Krishna, they also came. And as Vyasadeva came at the time of Krishna, so in the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vrindavan Das Thakur is the incarnation of Vyasadeva. He is a nephew of Srivas Thakur. So he wrote Chaitanya Bhagavat. All the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from birth to the end of his pastime. So everything is recorded in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Beautiful. If you get a chance to read that book, incredible. Or in some audio books also. So he said, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga Dana, Bhakti Krishna Nama, Shmarana Kandana. Yeah, this is the definition of Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga. What is Bhakti Yoga? Bhakti Yoga is Bhakti Yoga Dhana. Bhakti Yoga is the only thing required for us. Bhakti Yoga is the only asset, the only wealth. Because without wealth of Bhakti Yoga, you can pay the price of getting Krishna. So here the whole thing is that if we don't know Krishna, if you don't get Krishna, so all our endeavors are baffled and they are all fruitless. Don't get anything. See, that's why people this way they're working so hard. Prahlad says that to go to hell, people are toiling so hard to go to hell. But to go to Krishna is very easy. You need just to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram. That's what Vrindavan Thakur, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Dana. Where's the Dana? Where's that wealth? Is Krishna Nam. See, this holy name of Krishna is that to chant the holy name of Krishna all the time. Remembering Krishna by chanting his holy name. Mana Mana Bhava Mad Bhaktu. Krishna gives instruction. Always remember me. That means we should chant Harinam all the time. When we're eating, remembering. He said, but Krishna Nam Smaran Kandan. That we should always chant the holy name, remember the holy name constantly. It's called Bhakti Yoga. That's called devotional service. So devotional service in this Kali Yuga is chanting the holy name. That's what Prabhupada said. All the preaching we're doing, all the book distribution, just so that to convince people, to give them knowledge, they should come on the path of chanting the Hare Krishna. You see? So this is called Bhakti Yoga. A linking process. So it's the best type of yoga. Very easy method process. We don't need other process, especially in this Kali Yuga. Kali Kali Nam Rupa, Krishna Avatar. So Krishna incarnated himself in this Kali Yuga in form of holy name. So another point I was going to make about how this link process, and in the first chapter Prabhupada is speaking about, is about making clear distinction between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. These are to be understood. The philosophy of Krishna consciousness, unlike some other schools of spiritual science, this philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Here, Krishna consciousness means Krishna Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya. He came as an acharya. He came as a spiritual master. He's Supreme Lord himself. His philosophy is sublime philosophy, unheard before. That's a Chincha Beta Beta Tattva. The oneness, and again, difference. So we have the four bona fide sampradayas, Shri, Brahma, Rudra, and Kumar's sampradayas. We know this, they have different regarding Advaita Vad, Sudadvaita, the Sudadvaita, this and that. They never came to a perfect conclusion. Although they were trying to, establish their own philosophy. But when Mahaprabhu came, he accepted because they actually marginals, the great devotees. But like we said, Dharma Mulai Bhagavan. Dharma, the essence of religion, of Dharma, is the Supreme Lord Himself. It is said in the sixth canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, a very famous verse, I'm sure some of you know already. Dharma to Sakshar Bhagavat Pranitam. Right? Dharma to Sakshar Bhagavat Pranitam. Na ve vidur rushaya napi deva. Nasida mukhya sura manusya. Kuto na vidyadhara charanadaya. Meaning that although, he said that real religious principles are enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Although fully situated in the mode of goodness, even the great rishis, the great sages, who occupy the topmost planets, cannot ascertain the real religious principle, or to speak about others. So, Dharma Mulahi Bhagavan. Mula means roots. So, Dharma means religiosity or religion. So, only Supreme Lord Himself is the embodiment of religion. All the sages, the Mahajanas, although they preach about religion, but that because of they empowered the Supreme Lord. But they can never come up with their own religion. They only follow in the footsteps. They only accept the verdict of the Supreme Person of God. They accept it. Yes, we accept this, my Lord. Just like we're saying here, if it was all serious, we accept the teaching of the Supreme Lord, and then we become perfect. So the perfected living entities like Mahajanas, the Acharyas, they become perfect because they've surrendered to the Supreme Lord. They've accepted His teaching. And then they receive, in this way they receive the full mercy of the Supreme Person of Godhead. So now, I'm speaking about the Dharma. Everything Dharma means in English, we call religion or quality, whatever. What's the best way to speak about Dharma?
It's the nature of things.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Dharma of material world. Maybe. Dharma New York, that's a good one. So, what's the best thing to translate Dharma in English? Religion, isn't it? Constitutional position, right? Whatever. I to search, closer meaning. So, this Dharma is very significant. So, every vastu, everything is nature. The nature of the water is what?
What?
Huh?
It's what?
Yeah? Liquidity.
Yes.
Yeah. What is liquid? And what's the Dharma of the fire? Heat. Heat. And maybe light. Sometimes. So, that is the Dharma. Vastu. Vastu means thing or substance. As is Dharma. Water, the Dharma of water is liquidity. When the water comes in, becomes ice, it's no longer water, really. And you can never have fire without heat. It's no longer fire. So, the Dharma, the Supreme Lord being the root cause of Dharma, the Dharma of the soul, because the Supreme Lord is soul, Supreme Person of Godhead, supreme spiritual being. So now what's the dharma of the soul? I would like some interaction.
Consciousness. Consciousness.
That is symptoms.
Service.
Yeah? Why are you doing service?
Why?
Yeah.
Because that's the dharma.
Yeah, but it must but there must be purpose.
Because the soul is part and parcel of Krishna. So naturally its dharma is to serve Krishna.
Why?
Because of its constitutional position.
Why does Krishna need our service? So what? Okay, those answers are good. Another, who can I give another answer?
Ananda.
Yes. Ananda, pleasure. That's the dharma of the soul. That's the dharma of the soul. So that everything we do, we want to serve Krishna, we want to please somebody, we are either you're going to be pleased or the other person is going to be pleased. So the pleasure is the only purpose of acting, to get pleasure. We serve Krishna, right? You said that, Prabhu. Why we serve Krishna? It's called, that we said, Anya Bilasita Sunyam, Gyana Karmadi Anuvritam, Anukulena Krishna Nuslanam, Bhakti Uchate. Bhakti means to please Krishna. How? Anukul Krishna. Anukul means to serve Krishna favorably. Means to give Krishna pleasure. That is the purpose of rendering service unto Krishna. Is that clear? We serve Krishna to give him pleasure. You serve your beloved, your father, your mother, your kids, to give them pleasure. That's all. So the pleasure is the dharma of the soul. That's why it is said, Anandamoya Vyasat. Anandamoya Vyasat. The soul is made of Ananda. Ananda. So this is confirmed by the Shastra. It's not me saying. I expected that answer, but now Shastra also saying it. Ananda Moya Vyasat. So Ananda is, what is the dharma of the soul? Now we know that. So if Krishna is Anandamoyi, supremely blissful, that energy of Krishna of pleasure called Ladini Shakti, because Krishna is his internal potency called Swarup Shakti, with any three divisions. Who knows? I want everybody to understand, so that I'm interacting, sorry. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable, so that we can really capture everything. So what are the three divisions of Krishna's internal potency? It's a science of Krishna consciousness.
Ladini, Tatastha, and Bahiranga Shaktis.
No. They're just different from one another. But here's one internal potency called Swarup Shakti. Swa means own. Rupa means form. So originally, Supreme Lord is one. That's what we're talking about, oneness. That's where the philosophy of Achincha, Beta comes. One and the same time different. Sublime philosophy of Lord Chaitanya. Unheard before. So, now, my question is, what are the divisions of that internal potency of Krishna?
Okay.
Chitta, Sandhini, Samvit, and
Correct. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Those are three divisions of internal potency of Krishna. Sat means eternity. Chit, knowledge or cognizance, and Ladini, pleasure. So Ladini pleasure embodied all others in there. Within Ladini pleasure, Sat Chit is there also. So What is the deity of Ladini Shakti, or pleasure-giving potency of the Lord? Shrimati Radharani. She's deity of Ladini Shakti. So, Chit, Sat, Chit, all there. So, therefore, the conclusion, Ananda Moya Vyasat. So, when you get Ananda, all other part of Sat, Chit as theirs. So, that is Supreme Lord. That is the personality. That's what he's made of. But now, in order to get this Ananda, please, if it's something you don't understand, let me know. This is very scientific part of Krishna consciousness. Now, when we said about Ananda, how to get this Ananda? Because the fallible people in this material world, they're looking for Ananda. Are they really getting it in this world? No. Even amongst ourselves here, nobody can say, yes, I've reached the topmost enjoyment in this world. I'm very happy. No, everybody is dissatisfied. Everybody is despondent. Or if they're getting some pleasure, but it's still not enough. They want more and more. They're seeking for pleasure. There's some people who are making money. Brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey. Yeah. Brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey. So they endeavoring so hard to get pleasure. But until they die, they never get to that point of being fully satisfied. So, for the fallible people in this material. But in the infallible spiritual world, unlike people here, the pleasure is not only greatest, but ever increasing. Could you imagine that? Here, our pleasure decrease. You want more pleasure. But in the spiritual world, the pleasure is high, but it's ever increasing. They enjoy more and more and more and more and more and more. No limit. So, this world, material world and spiritual world is just the opposite. So, now, why the infallible living beings in the spiritual world are experiencing or testing this ever increasing pleasure? Why? Okay.
In the spiritual world, you're asking why?
Yeah, people in the spiritual world, infallible one, those in the spiritual world, they're perfect. They're enjoying pleasure constantly, ever increasing pleasure. Why?
Because of their connection with the Lord.
Yes, connection with Lord. More than that is, that's a good answer.
He is the reservoir of pleasure.
Yes. Yes. Here we are. He is Rasa Vaisaha. He Rasa Vaisaha. He's the reservoir of pleasure, embodiment of pleasure. He Rasa Vaisaha, Nagorindra, So now the infallible living beings who are there, in order to get pleasure, no matter what somebody else does for you, nobody can please you more than yourself. Am I wrong? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I make a point. I just made a point. You can pardon?
In this world, you mean material world?
In general, I'm talking about spiritual world now.
Material experience. Yes.
I'm talking about spiritual world because in the material world, we're not pleasing ourselves because pleasing the body. The self is the soul. So I'm talking about the spiritual world, Supreme Lord Himself. In order to get pleasure, the best person to please you is yourself.
Sounds selfish.
Huh?
Sounds
It sounds selfish. Yes. Yes. Because why it sounds selfish? Because the Supreme Lord is one without second. Is one without second. God is one.
Yeah.
There's no other second person.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So their selfishness is applicable because it's only one. Like we said, the Krishna is only to be pleased. So now why is it like that? Because the process of pleasing oneself is the best process. So Krishna, in the spiritual world, there's oneness. I'm talking about the oneness now. Prabhupada mentioned in the purpose, we are all part and parcels of the supreme entity, the supreme personality, the supreme person. So in the spiritual world, all the living entities who are infallible, they are within the spiritual energy of Krishna. In other words, they are not different from Krishna. They are not different from Krishna. So when they render service to Krishna, it means Krishna is pleasing himself through that devotional service. He's not served by anybody else, only he's serving himself. That's Krishna. Therefore, Achincha Beda Beda Tattva is one to be pleased, and then those are serving him, they are different from him. Just beginning from Radharani. Who's Radharani? Radharani is Krishna. But in order to enjoy, to get pleasure, they have to be two. But now, another point, a question is there, why they have to be two? In order to get pleasure. Krishna can do everything, get pleasure. It doesn't have to be two. Because it is said, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Prema Rajan. Ananda, pleasure, we just discussed, extensively about pleasure. So, Ananda Chinmaya. This Ananda is only possible when we are in loving relationship with Krishna. So, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Chinmaya means transcendental. Like Prabhupada said, the Supreme Lord is transcendental. Those who are also transcendental, they're actually perfect. Why? Because we're eternal, perfect, loving relationship with Krishna. Eternal, perfect, loving relationship with Krishna. That's what we can understand. So they're perfect in this context. So why Ananda Chinmoyo Rasa? What's that? Chinmoyo Rasa? Rasa means relationship. This is another way I wanted to explain about religion. Religion means relationship. Dharma. So, but here Dharma is relationship of pleasing the Supreme Lord. So, Ananda Chinmoya Rasa Prema Rachan. So this Ananda, pleasure, which is transcendental relationship with the Supreme Lord based on love. Therefore, when the question of love is there must be two sides. Ever seen somebody say, I'm in love with myself? Maybe sometimes crazy people they say, but I fall in love with myself. It doesn't really make so much sense. So love means you must have two sides, lover and beloved. Lover and beloved. Is that clear? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah. Your first time?
No.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. This is science, spiritual science. like the scientists, they do the experiment, they have their formulas, but we have our formulas too. So the spiritual formula means that when the question of love is there, must be two sides, lover and beloved. Otherwise, it's the question of love. So that for this reason, there are two sides. So why did he say this love, this pleasure must be between love and beloved? And oneness is required. So another point, you have a tongue, right? If you want to taste something, I don't know what it tastes, bitter or sweet or whatever, how do you experience the taste?
You have like taste buds on your tongue.
Pardon?
You have like sensations on your tongue. It's biological.
You almost could answer, almost. Okay, where did that taste? Yes, Prabhu.
The tongue has to, the food has to touch the tongue for the taste buds to function, to taste the food. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, but it does give the signal to the brain. You're actually
Yeah.
supposed to sense it, but you sense it here somehow.
Yeah, correct.
Well,
But
there is a confirmation going on.
the nerves, yeah,
Pleasure,
yeah. I know the information process there is like computer, right? So now, how can you experience that taste?
Well, you have to put it.
You haven't.
on the
Correct. Yes. Yes, Malaji. That's the answer. That taste is not in the object or is not on the tongue. They taste when they're united.
Mm.
Other than that, there's no, you don't know what that object tastes like. So the taste is expressed in the meeting of the tongue and the object. This is called oneness. So when the devotee, through their love, the two sides, they unite together, that the pleasure is expressed. And that called rasa, relationship. If you have friendly relation with Krishna, you enjoy the mellow of friendship. Yeah, Krishna, my best friend. You everything. Yeah. Your friends gives you pleasure, right? That's how we have a relationship with somebody. Because, we congenial. We have some kind of pleasure in a relationship. If that pleasure is between, like the pleasure the parents or a mother experience between a child, yeah, she's enjoying so much. That's called vatsalya, parental relationship. Sakya, friendly relationship, like Krishna with his boyfriends. They have a great time playing, enjoying so much in that relationship. And servant and master, have a good master taking care of you, you render a nice service. And you, oh, I love my master. And the master, oh, my employee is very nice, So you're pleasing each other basically. And Krishna always reciprocates in those relationships according how much you surrender to him. Then if it's a conjugal relationship, like Krishna and his wives, queens, Krishna and the gopis, Radharani especially, they're enjoying conjugal pleasure and relationship. When they separate, it's very difficult. But when you unite, sambhoga, then they get pleasure. Although there's also pleasure, it is said in the separation that pleasure is higher. But you know what? This is another technical point I'm going to make in philosophy called viraha. Viraha, we know this word, yeah? Separation. It's got deep meaning in Sanskrit. Viraha. Raha means heart. So externally, you separate, but in heart, they're united. So when there's separation, Krishna in the heart of the devotee. And that time, devotee feeling separation, he wants to bring Krishna out. He wants to see Krishna in front of him so they can interact. But when he's in the heart, it's difficult. So he has to need Krishna to be like, again, two sides. He has to be two in order to interact. That's meaning of Vira. But the pleasure is there. But that pleasure says, oh my God, Krishna, how? When you think about how can I meet Krishna, imagine Krishna is here with me now. How wonderful it is. So that gives the devoted separation so very intense pleasure and meditation. Like this meaning would be Raha. But when they together in union, the devotee, he said Krishna is here, but he's still feeling separation. But he wants to bring Krishna in the core of his heart. So it's very intricate philosophy and devotional service. So I was going to explain that this oneness is not that we lose our individuality, but it is that we understand that if, like I gave example of tongue and object, unless they unite, you can experience that pleasure. So to know Krishna, only bhakti is required. So I did my best to explain those points about regarding bhakti. So bhakti is only thing we need to get Krishna. And Jai Janaba Jai Krishna Jai Bolo Shatu. One who engages in devotional service, Krishna is a real intelligent person. And Krishna gives him the Dhammi Buddhi, he gives you real intelligence. No academic, no whatever people achieve in this world, that's not real intelligence actually to go to Krishna, to surrender to Krishna. So I'm gonna land here. Hare Krishna. Any comments? Krishna, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for your lecture. You mentioned you were talking about Bhaktisiddhanta and the devotee was asking questions. Can you finish that part? I wanted to.
Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. I didn't finish that the point I was making. Yeah. I got dragged into other because these gentlemen used to ask so many questions all the time, but he would not engage in devotional service. So one time, Shabakshidanta could understand that. He said, okay. When he asked the question that time, he told him, okay, I will answer your question, but could you go first? It was in the ashram, yeah, in the place where he said, could you go? The one devotee is working somewhere in the ashram. Could you go and help him? Help him. And then when you finish, whatever you're doing, you finish service, come back here, and then I will answer your question. I said, oh yes, Maharaj. Great, none of that. He went there, he saw that devotees working, whatever he was doing, maybe cleaning ashram, doing some kind of service there. And then he went there, he said, okay, Maharaj sent me here to help you. Okay, oh yeah, welcome. A devotee is always happy to engage somebody else in devotional service. Okay, welcome. Then he went there, and then they did all the service together, and then quickly they completed the service, they finished the service. Then the devotee said, okay, thank you so much for helping me. Now we can go back to hear Kata. And then we went back there, sat down, and Maharaj noticed, said, okay, are you okay? Yeah, I'm finished, everything fine here. Okay, what's your question? He said, I have no question. No more question. It means everything was revealed to him already by performing devotional service under the expert guidance of such a sadhu. So the question was not there. See, like when Prabhupada came first year, because we're not from Vedic background, whatever, so many questions, everybody. But in India, those are really like very devotees. The Prabhupada himself, he never asked many questions to his guru. And I remember so my Guru Maharaj to say, the only question he asked, how can I serve you? That's it. Guru Maharaj, how can I serve the best? How the best I can serve you? And that's it. Because we ask many questions because we're so contaminated, even simple thing we can't understand it. The Bhagavatam said, Pasyanati na pasyati. Though we see, we don't see. So we're so covered. So therefore, purity is needed. Purity of the heart to understand. So some of the questions are really simple. We can understand it. But, so that's the reason I mentioned that anecdote from Shabbat. Any other comment? Yeah.
You just started talking about purity of the heart, and there's this one part on the purport where you were reading. Can I read it just 2 sentences?
Sure.
Where it says, but devotional service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in devotional service, he automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I don't, it's not, I guess I don't completely understand it because we are engaged in devotional service here, and I personally do not feel like I've come to the stage of sinlessness. So what does that phrase mean?
With the meaning of that, okay. That's a very, very good question, really. Like in a Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami, yeah, that is our what's called handbook of devotional service. You should read that book. So there, when we're talking here about pure devotion, it is said the symptom of the 6 characteristics of pure devotion. What's called Klishakni, You know, when you read that platform of devotional service, all your miseries are completely destroyed, just like the dry wood burned into ashes by the fire. And because the suffering material world compared to the fire, burning fire of material existence, at once is subdued by the power of pure devotion. Pure devotion is very rare. Pure devotion deriving the concept of liberation. 3. Pure devotion is pure devotion is auspicious. You know, when on the platform of pure devotion, everything is auspicious. And pure devotion is even more attractive than Krishna. It attracts Krishna. Pure devotion is so powerful, more powerful than the Lord himself. So those are 6 characteristics of devotional service. So again, Rupa Goswami says, Anya Bilat Sita Sunyam, Yana Karmadi, Anuvrutam, Anukuliena, Krishna Anusilana Bhaktiutam. The devotional service should be devoid of karma, you know, karma speculation. Anya Bilat not Gyana Karma, no Gyan, no speculation, knowledge, whatever, but it should be pure. It's anukula, to serve Krishna purely. Yes. So when we start the process, when we begin on this process of Krishna consciousness, we are trying to reach that platform. We're trying to. Otherwise, we won't be. What's the point of doing sadhana? We do sadhana. We're taking medicine, and these, especially chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. As explained clearly according to Krishna himself, Vrindavan Das Thakur, that this bhakti means to chant constantly, to hear and chant holy names. Everything else just will fall in place. So devotional service, we have to practice constantly. There are different stages: sadhana, Vedi, and Raganuga. So Vedi means strictly, you know, other thing you don't want them, you don't like them, but you have to accept them. You know, you're forced to accept. That's Vedi. Because you say, okay, this is the verdict of Supreme Lord, the Spiritual Master, or Shastra, Sadhu Shastra Guru. So we should always act according to Sadhu Shastra Guru. So we accept that even against our own will. Some is very hard to get up to do devotional safety chant, but way to do it. I'm starving, very hungry. I cook food. Again, I have to offer it first, you know. So yeah, sometimes we don't have the patience, but we have to. So when we do those things, you know, gradually the heart is purified. Then we come to this platform of spontaneity, with spontaneous devotional service, and then almost that's pure devotional service. Then that's where we can really get we can get the full benefit of pure devotional service. So the question is very important. So we have to keep on doing it, keep on practicing. It is said this devotional service is a birthright. You know, something you're gonna get from outside. The example is given like a child trying to walk, yeah, a baby. You know, the baby stands up, put 1-2 steps, and then falls down again. But he doesn't give up. The child doesn't give up. And also, along the child, the guardian is there, the mother, trying to help. Oh, stand up, like this. And gradually, the child one day become Olympian. You know, he wins, you know, gold medals, you know, in the Olympics. So beginning from, you know, falling down and standing up, but not giving up. So that's what we have to do. So, and we shouldn't be so impatient. Rupa Goswami said, Utsani Sadhajat. 3 things. We have to be patient, determined, and enthusiastic in performing devotional service. Even in the middle of you know, adversities and, you know, suffering, this and that. Sometimes you think that, oh, I don't believe in this process where I'm suffering. So you have to keep on doing it. Unconditional. It should be unconditional. Not that because it's not working for me. We give the example of one time a fox was jumping to grab the grapes, right? You know the story? Jumping. But he couldn't catch it. And then after so long, he said, oh, I just gave up this. Grapes sour anyway. So, you know, grapes are sour. So we shouldn't follow that. We should always stick to a devotional service. It does matter. You see, first of all, we're eternal. You're not losing anything. We are eternal. We're eternal. If you can make it this life, you can make it next life, you're eternal. I gave the example last class I gave of this devotee. Well, Lord Chaitanya said he will get my message for billion, trillion of years. And everybody was kind of, oh. But that devotee, when he heard that, he jumped, yeah, finally, time will come. So we're eternal. Don't be, there's no pessimism in this process of devotional service. All optimism. Yes, bro.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada explains that for one who engages in devotional service, success is guaranteed. So, but it's up to us if it's within this lifetime or future lifetimes. But the success is there.
Guarantee, exactly.
Guaranteed.
So that's very good, because it's a question of faith. You shouldn't give up, your belief. Just go on doing it. That's why I'm saying we're eternal. If you this life or many lives, so what? If you one day you say it's guaranteed. If you follow this, what Prabhu said, it's guaranteed. So you have to have faith in that. So why are we so impatient this lifetime?
And also not underestimate the power of the holy name.
That's devotional service, exactly.
Yeah. The holy name can destroy all the sins. Just one syllable.
One syllable. But that's why just read that the bhakti devotional service is so potent, yeah? And then explain devotional service means the chanting of the yes.
So we're no longer connected to the karma. So many devotees were in the early days would ask Prabhupada. So what happens? We take initiation and then but we still attracted the material energy.
Correct, yeah.
But Prabhupada says once you take initiation, your sins are destroyed. You no longer are
under the jurisdiction of material energy, right? But what goes on in the name of if you're still weak, that Prabhupada used to give the example like the electric fan. When the switch is off, but still moving fast,
right,
and then just a matter of time, it will stop completely.
That's what Prabhupada replied to the devotees.
Yes.
Just like you unplug, Prabhupada said, you unplug, but the fan, the blaze is still running.
Yeah. So in any, I heard my spirit master say, there's no pessimism whatsoever. You may be most abominable. You know what Bhaktivinoda Thakur said? The Mahaprabhu said, Nadanam Najanam Suna, he said, Prabhu Tava Pada Yogi Moronivedana Nai Magideya Sukha Bidyadana Jana Nai Magi Swargara Mukanai Magi Nakori Pratana Kono Vibhutiralai Nija Karma Gunadoshe Jeje Janma Pai Janme Janme Jeno Tava Namagunagai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I read that for you. Very interesting. It's just about what we're talking. Oh Lord, this is my humble submission at your Lord's feet. I do not ask from you sensual pleasure, learning, wealth, or followers. I do not beg for residence on the celestial planets, means heavenly planets. Nor do I wish liberation from this mundane existence, means suffering. You don't ask that. Free me from suffering. I don't ask that. And nor do I pray for attainment of any mystic powers. None of these. He said, whatever birth I obtain due to the faults of my previous worldly activities. I pray that I may sing the glories of your holy name birth after birth. Right? So suppose now you're suffering, now you don't feel I'm making progress, but Krishna so kindly has brought you in the process of chanting. So why don't you accept this teaching? I'm fallen, I don't care. I'm not asking you to free me from this suffering, for my karma. And the pure devotee never disturbs the Lord. Oh, I remember when we joined first, everybody's thinking, oh, when we hear about karma, okay, now when I start devotional service, my karma will go away. The devotees, but actually, pure devotee never ask that. Oh, my Lord, please destroy my karma. No. Whatever I deserve, let me have it. If you're suffering in this life, you're trying your best to do devotional service, but you're not making any advancement according to you. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my Lord, I don't care, but let me only change your holy name. So that's what I said. There's no pessimism. You may be attached to something, you can't give it up, but keep on chanting. Krishna knows. Say this poor, fallible soul is struggling. What can he do on his own? Nothing. But if you have that faith that I must stick to the chanting, glorifying my Lord, everything, hearing his glories, chanting and hearing, apparently you're attracted to sinful life because you're helpless. But the Supreme Lord, he knows that. He will help you. So there's no excuse whatsoever, of going away from this path of Krishna consciousness. No. Unflinching faith. And it's, as you said, it's guaranteed. Everything you'll get it. It's a matter of time.